In our previous lectures, already we have discussed in regarding life insurance, fire insurance, marine insurance, and also about vehicle insurance. Although in regards to life insurance, fire insurance, and marine insurance, we have discussed certain provisions of the concerned acts, but in case of vehicle insurance, we have not discussed the relevant act which relates to vehicle insurance, and in particularly that is the Motor Vehicle Act of 1988. So now we want to discuss about the Motor Vehicle Act and its very features, rules and penalties. So the Motor Vehicle Act of 1988 was introduced in the Parliament of India with the intention of governing all road vehicles and creating proper rules and regulations that all vehicle owners should be required to adhere to. The Act came into effect on 1st July 1989. The Act was created after consultation with the state transport ministers of all the Indian states. One of the main objectives of the Act was to supersede the then existing Motor Vehicles Act of 1939, which Act becomes obsolete with the change of time. The Act was created keeping in mind the constant advancement of vehicular technology along with the increase in demand for vehicles. So, in regards to that, we would like to make an overview of the Motor Vehicles Act. So, one is that each driver driving a vehicle on the road is required to have a valid license. So also, each vehicle owner has to get their vehicle registered, which usually lasts for 15 years under the Act. And also, his vehicle owner on the road should have insurance for their vehicle. If you have a car, you are required to have car insurance, and if you have a bike, you are required to have the bike insurance. And now we'll discuss about some major sections concerning the very Motor Vehicle Act of 1988. As related to that, Section 3 of the Motor Vehicle Act of 1988 provides a license issued by the authorities is compulsory to be able to drive your vehicle on Indian roads. This is applicable to cars, bikes, rickshaws, and heavy vehicles, amongst others. And Section 4 provides that a permanent license can be issued only to those above the age of 18. Those below are not allowed to drive any type of vehicle unless they hold a learner's permit which is issued at the age of 16. And Section 39 provides If you own a vehicle, you are required by the Act to get it registered for it to be legally driven. And Section 112 of the Act provides you need to adhere to the speed limits laid down by the Road Transport Ministry. The speed limits vary from state to state. Exceeding these limits could you get be fined. And Section 140 of the Motor Vehicle Act of 1988 provides the driver of the vehicle has to compensate the third party if the damage is caused to the latter's vehicle or property. In case someone gets injured or breathes they are lost, the compensation as provided under the Act is as follows. Rs 50,000 if someone passes away, and Rs 25,000 if a permanent disability is caused. As well, Section 185 of the Act provides if the driver is found to be driving their vehicle under the influence of alcohol or drugs, they would be fined under the following conditions. And the permissible limit is 30 mg for 100 ml for blood. Exceeding this limit is an offense which would fall under driving the vehicle under the influence of alcohol or drugs, and consequently an amendment was made in 2019, and the very amendment to the existing Motor Vehicle Act of 1988 in 2019. The amendment bill was introduced in the Indian Parliament to keep up with changing times and trends. Listed below that we would like to discuss are some of the amendments, and as such, the amendments of 2019 made it compulsory that Aadhaar card is mandatory when applying for license as well as registration of the vehicle. And the compensation of Rs 2 lakh to be given by the government to the family of hit and run victims. So also legal guardians to be held liable if a minor is found driving a vehicle either supervised or unsupervised. And another new feature in the amendment is the penalty of drunk driving is increased to Rs 10,000, and also the previous liability limit for third party was removed in cases of someone breathing their last or incurring serious injury. These amendments were ratified by the Parliament and implemented in 2020 by the Government of India. And now we'll discuss certain salient features of the Act of 1988, and that is the Motor Vehicle Act of 1988 is a comprehensive legislation governing road transport in India. It lays down rules for the registration, insurance, licensing, and penalties associated with vehicles. So, the very key features, and otherwise called the salient features, which include vehicle registration. So, all vehicles must be registered with the regional transport office. And another key feature is regarding driving license. It specifies the requirement for obtaining a driving license for different types of vehicles, including commercial and non-commercial vehicles. And another important feature, that is the regarding traffic rules and safety. It outlines traffic rules, including speed limits, road signs, lane discipline, and the use of safety equipment like helmets and seat belts. And another key feature of the Act is regarding insurance. The Act mandates third party insurance for all motor vehicles to protect victims of accident. And another most important feature is regarding penalties and offenses. It defines punishments for violation like speeding, driving under the influence of alcohol and drugs, and driving without a license. And another key features that we found under the Act is regulation of commercial vehicles. The Act of 1988 regulates commercial vehicles, including permits, insurance, and tax collection for them. And another most important feature is regarding environmental concern. So it emphasizes the importance of pollution control by requiring pollution under control or the PUC certificates. And the last most important key features of the 1988 Motor Vehicle Act, that is regarding road safety and education. The Act emphasizes educating the public about road safety through awareness programs. These provisions are designed to ensure safety on the roads and regulate motor vehicle operations in India. And as regarding the amendment in 2019, the most important part is regarding penalties as per the amendment. So, as the penalties introduced in the Act, which is amended in 2019, a fine of Rs 5,000 and or community service if found anyone driving your vehicle without a license. And the second one is a fine of Rs 10,000 and or a prison sentence of 6 months if found driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs or first time offense. And subsequently the fine increases to Rs 15,000 and or 2 years of prison sentence for a repeated offense of the same nature, and also a fine of Rs 1,000 or community service for driving without a seat belt, and also a fine of Rs 5,000 if anyone found to be talking on the mobile phone or using it while driving. And also, another amendment regarding penalties is a fine of Rs 500 if anyone found to be driving without wearing a helmet. The Motor Vehicle Act makes third party insurance mandatory for first time offences of driving without insurance. The fine is Rs 2,000 and or 3 months of prison along with community service. And for the repeated offences or subsequent offences of the same nature, the fine increases to Rs 4,000. It also made changes in regards to traffic rules. Traffic rules in India have undergone several revisions to enhance road safety and ensure discipline. The Motor Vehicles Amendment Act 2009 brought about notable changes such as increased penalties, fines for violations like speeding, driving without a helmet, and driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs have been significantly increased to discourage offenders. And another mandatory change that we found, the mandatory use of seat belts. The law has become stricter on seat belt use, yes, imposing penalties for both drivers and passengers if they are not wearing seat belts. So also regarding the pedestrian safety, new provisions have been added to protect pedestrians, including designated crossings and stricter penalties for violations. It also made drastic changes regarding traffic rules in regards to protection for good Samaritans. Legal protection has been extended to good Samaritans who help accident victims, shielding them from legal hassles. And another major change regarding traffic rules made under the 2019 amendment is relating to licensing and registration. The process for obtaining licenses and vehicle registration has been streamlined with online platforms, aiming for greater transparency and ease. And also, another change we found in regards to higher penalties for juvenile offences. In cases where a juvenile commits a traffic violation, the guardian is held responsible and may face penalties. And also, the last most important change that we found, introduction of e-challenge. Digital monitoring has been introduced for traffic violations through e-challenge, promoting easier enforcement. So these changes reflect the government's commitment to improve road safety and reducing accident in India. So to conclude, we found as proper regulation is required to keep the vehicles and their drivers under check. This act is essential. So is the appropriate general insurance policy for your vehicle under this act? If you don't wish to pay hefty fines for not owing it, and in relation to the Motor Vehicle Act of 1988, we have to discuss some relevant questions, such questions that what exactly the four objectives of Motor Vehicle Act 1988. So, the very four main objectives of the Motor Vehicle Act of 1988. The first one is ensuring road safety. To regulate road safety measures and reduce accidents by enforcing traffic rules and vehicle standards. And the second one is regulation of traffic to manage vehicle registration, licensing, and traffic regulations, ensuring smooth flow and discipline on roads. And the next one is environmental protection to control vehicle emissions and enforce pollution norms to protect the environment. And the last one is protection of accident victims to provide compensation for accident victims through third party insurance and facilitate claims for injury or death caused by accident. So the very question, what are the four objectives of the Motor Vehicles Act 1988 that we have just in brief discussed? And another question that is also important, what are the benefits of the Motor Vehicle Act of 1988? So one is enhancing road safety. It helps reduce accidents and fatalities by enforcing road safety rules and penalties for violations. And the second benefit is providing legal protection. It ensures accident victims are compensated through third party insurance. And the third benefit, that is environmental control. The Act promotes the use of eco-friendly vehicles by setting emission norms and pollution controls. And the next benefit is regarding traffic management. It regulates vehicle operations and enforces road discipline, improving traffic flow. And the last benefit of the Act is encouraging safe driving practices. The Act raises public awareness about road safety and responsible driving. And now we would like to discuss another important question, that is, what is the claim of the Motor Vehicle Act 1988? The Motor Vehicles Act 1988 allows individuals to file claims for compensation in case of road accidents. It mandates third party insurance, ensuring that victims of accidents are compensated for damages or injuries caused by motor vehicles. The law also establishes a framework for filing and processing claims, providing legal recourse for accident victims. And also, you want to discuss another question is how much fine do I have to pay for cutting lanes while driving? So, under the Motor Vehicle Act 1988, lane cutting or improper lane discipline can result in a fine ranging from Rs 500 to 1000 depending on the seriousness of the violation. The fine encourages safe driving practices and helps reduce accidents caused by lane violation. And another relevant question in relating to Motor Vehicle Act is riding without wearing a helmet is illegal under the Motor Vehicles Act 1988? The very answer is that yes, riding without a helmet is illegal under the Motor Vehicles Act 1988. The law mandates that both the rider and the pillion passenger wear helmets while riding a two-wheeler. The penalty for violating this rule can range from Rs 100 to Rs 1000 with stricter penalties for repeat offenders. So the very law aims to reduce head injuries and fatalities in two-wheeler accidents. So in this very lecture, we have discussed most of the important sections and provisions of Motor Vehicle Act 1988 and so also the very key sections and salient features. And consequently, we have also discussed the very amendment made in 2019 and what new features are inserted to the Motor Vehicle Act 1988 and also the very enhancement of penalties under the amendment of 2019 and what new changes are made on traffic rules. So, almost we have completed our lecture on Motor Vehicle Act 1988 and the amendments made in 2019 which came into effect in 2020. And by the way, while discussing Motor Vehicle Act 1988, we have made reference to the Motor Vehicle Act of 1939, which was at that time enacted by the British Parliament for India. So, almost we have discussed all the key provisions and features and those sections of Motor Vehicle Act 1988 and the changes inserted under the Amendment Act of 2019 in regards to enhancement of penalties and changes on the traffic rules. So, in our next upcoming lectures, would like to discuss some important landmark judgments or leading cases. First, in regards to life insurance, then we would go to fire insurance, then marine insurance, and finally we'll come to those landmark judgments and claims and compensations in regards to motor vehicle accident and finally the motor accident claim tribunal cases.